Why does it look like it might be the year of the ballot or the bullet? Because Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises. Why does it look like it might be the year for too long of the ballot or the bullet? And they're fed up. They've become disenchanted. They've become disillusioned. They've become dissatisfied. And all of this has built up frustrations in the black community that makes the black community throughout America today more explosive than all of the atomic bombs the Russians can ever invent. Whenever you got a racial powder keg sitting in your lap, you're in more trouble than if you had an atomic powder keg sitting in your lap. When a racial powder keg goes off, it doesn't care who it knocks out the way. Understand this, it's dangerous. And in 1964, this seems to be the year. Because what can the white man use now to fool us? After he put down that march on Washington, and you see all through that now, he tricked you, had you marching down to Washington. Yes, had you marching back and forth between the feet of a dead man named Lincoln and another dead man named George Washington, singing "We Shall Overcome." He made a chump out of it. He made a fool out of it. He made you think you were going somewhere and you end up going nowhere but between Lincoln and Washington.
Scared Negroes today with no badge or no white skin or no white sheet or no white anything else. The police the same way. They put their club upside your head and then turn around and accuse you of attacking them. Every case of police brutality against a Negro follows the same pattern. They attack you, bust you all upside your mouth, and then take you to court and charge you with assault. What kind of democracy is that? What kind of freedom is that? What kind of social or political system is it when a black man has no voice in court, has nothing on his side other than what the white man chooses to give? My brothers and sisters, we have to put a stop to this. And it will never be stopped until we stop it ourselves. They attack the victim. And then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him. This is American justice. This is American democracy. And those of you who are familiar with it know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy. Now, if I'm wrong, put me in jail. But if you can't prove that a democracy is not hypocrisy, then don't put your hands on me. Democracy is hypocrisy. If democracy means freedom, why aren't our people free? If democracy means justice, why don't we have justice? If democracy means equality, why don't we have equality? Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro, that's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Powell. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Cassidra?
What's going on today? Ain't that something?
Yeah, we crawled from underneath our beds to come do this. I wasn't gonna show up, but
Oh yeah, we showing up. Oh, we showing up.
I was hiding under my bed all day, y'all. So
It's crazy. Wow, I tell you, I am good. Oh boy, I tell you, life is so funny, ain't it?
You know what?
Life is so funny.
Yeah, now see, my thing is now I want to see the reaction, you know what I'm saying, of black folk, you know what I'm saying? What are we going to do here, you know?
Yeah, let's see. I think they're done doing. They're done doing. You know, they've done and they're done doing now. Let's see what they're going to do. They're gonna sit back and relax, or what they gonna do? Keep moving forward, right?
Yeah, and you know what, Cassidra, and I want to play, just a shout out for all the brothers out here, because I was watching. This is like, some of the brothers earlier, what they was talking
Oh,
about.
wow. Man. How Roland Martin doing?
They spent
I heard a lot of money. They spent a lot of money. They had Beyonce out. They had all of the stars, right? And it didn't even work, did it? They had Obama pointing his fingers. They had Michelle Obama pointing her fingers and cussing black folk out. And they had Cardi B and Beyonce. They spent a lot of money. They spent hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, they're gonna get that money back. They gonna
yeah.
It ain't funny. It ain't funny because they're gonna be like, y'all.
Hell yeah, it's funny. What you talking about ain't funny. Oh, it's funny. It's funny. Because they was paying influencers. They were paying like YouTubers to get on there and back them and all that money. They need to just collect their money, huh? They need to get their money back.
They could be like, we cold hearted and not right.
They lost the House and the Senate. They ain't got nobody left. That's funny. That's funny. Ain't that something? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I woke up this morning. I was like, damn, I thought I went back in time. I was like, yo, that shit is real. Time travel real. I thought it was 2016. Like I felt I was involved. I was doing all the same stuff back then, but I'm like, damn, okay, I've seen this before. I watch history and I see how history repeats itself, but I'm like literally watching it. I'm like, damn, we ain't caught up. Because I was in it the same exact everything. Like, ain't
that so? That's crazy. But hey, let's see how white folk go act this time.
I'm on playing this. This was how a lot of brothers was sounding today, all throughout the world,
Well, look, first of all, congratulations. Both of you guys we're
not there yet.
Well, you're further than anybody said you would be. And I have enough class, and I was raised well enough to say when you outdo,
yes, sir, thank you.
When you outdo expectations, good for you. But there's another side to this. People have talked about a miracle. I'm hearing about a nightmare.
Oh man,
it's hard to be a parent tonight for a lot of us.
And that's what a lot of
tell your kids.
What is he talking about? What is he talking about?
Kids, don't be a bigot.
What is he talking about?
Tell your kids, do your homework.
Do your homework.
Be prepared.
Do your homework.
You have this outcome, and you have people putting children to bed tonight.
Yes, enjoy it and relieved.
You're afraid of how do I explain this to my kids?
Scared to death this morning.
Transgender, okay? They don't have to be afraid that they're gonna get a sex change on them. Come on there. What in the world?
But you know what pisses me off though, because you're like, for real, like my mom's like today, like, oh yeah, I'm like worried, and I'm like kind of. I was like, yo, didn't I tell you 10 years ago? I don't know why you're not mad and scared 10 years ago. Why the hell Negroes is like they can take our tax money and not be mad about it? Good, you should be
afraid. You know what? I had somebody come to me today and say the same thing. I said, let me ask you a question. I said, did Kamala Harris get you any money? What did she do for you the last 4 years? I said, did Trump put you in slavery last time he ran? Because this ain't his first go round. So what are you scared? They act like this is his first go round, right? I'm like, hello, you guys. He was just in office 4 years ago, right? Did he put you back in slavery like 2020? Or when was that? 2016? Did he put you back in slavery then? And then she looks, I said, are you better off now or when Trump was in office? I said, because I got a couple checks when Trump was in office last time. I don't know about nobody else because I bought some things for mine. But are you better off this year than you was 2026?
I'll be honest. I would say like it's always been the same to me. It's like that's why I've never got it, because like no matter who it is, it's still the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
Like even when because like
it is afraid of though. What's there to be afraid of?
Black people not learning. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. I'm scared of that border. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear, that border. Is the black jobs being gone. Seriously. I asked her, I said, who do you see working in AutoZone now. I see immigrants. I see immigrants where black people used to be. I'm just saying, I see in McDonald's, who you see immigrants. I mean, Walmart used to have nothing but black people. Who's working there now? Immigrants. I mean, that's what I'm scared of. And she looked and she's like, wow. I'm like, see, you guys think too much. When the media come and tell y'all need to turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. That's all I'm saying. Just turn it off. Because they tearing y'all man up. They just getting all your little senses. Taking all of your senses. But go ahead. Let's hear what David has to say.
No, he made a new one today because he was about to cry again.
People tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There's going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth.
Y'all remember that? They was like, oh, we got to shed the little Mexican babies.
Who did that, though? Who opened the borders?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it, like black people was like, yo, we can't let them put Mexican children or Mexican kids in cages. But
they put your kids in cages? In graves? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying. You can put yours in the grave, but you can't put theirs in a cage. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I don't care what they'll do with them.
Okay.
Worry about our children. All right, not my business.
Well, tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There are going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified.
Why was he cleaning your teeth if you don't even have papers in the first place? So you should be like, what dentist is you going to? I'm pretty sure if he's a dentist, he got papers, bro.
I don't know if he's in America or in Mexico.
Yeah, they say you can get surgeries and stuff cheaper when you go to certain places. So
yeah,
maybe that's what
he's talking. Yeah, so maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, if your dentist ain't got papers, you got bigger problems to worry about than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
cleaning your teeth.
And they're terrified tonight. And so it's easy to blow this off.
I was scared yesterday, and then the day before that, and the day before that. So,
oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
And you're not scared of what you had. You're not scared of all the immigrants coming through that border. Really? Boy, she's got them brainwashed. That's so sad. He really believes what he's saying too, from the heart. I'm sorry. I can just sit up here laughing through. Oh my God. I'm done. I'm just glad that I'm just saying. I'm just glad. That's all I'm saying. It's just crazy.
Yeah, we were unable to save America, so
we're gonna save America again.
We were unable to do so.
Oh my God. Oh God, we're gonna make America great again. Well, how they gonna make America great? I can't wait to see this.
And
you think we gonna get reparations?
Yeah.
How we gonna make America great? Let me see. What did we do last time to make it great? I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's why I was trying to tell him before, like last time, like all of them are, like who they are.
Exactly.
That's like,
and the View was mad, wasn't they? Did you see the View? They was mad, wasn't they?
I didn't even see it.
It was on the news. I would just have to. My husband was sitting down there when I came in, and he had to. They was up there fussing on the View, and it was just like a mourning. I was like, "Is there a funeral or what? What's going on? What's going on?" Little Whoopi was sitting up there. She is so funny to me. I'm sorry, she is so funny. How is all of the stars Democrats and the rich white ones are Republicans? Why? How is that possible?
Because
I wonder how Hugh League feeling today.
No, because they control like their media is to like black audiences, and the Republican ones are to white audiences. But like they do the same thing. It's like both sides are the same. Is to keep
do the same thing.
They and then they'd be like, oh well, and then they blame the other side, right? Black people became Democrat first just now. You know what I'm saying? The last couple months, 2 or 3 months, black people became Democrat before they was black, and like white people is like it's just gonna be them, but like they use the rich white people because like the dumb white people follow them. But I don't care that there's like what I'm trying to. This is a corporation. America is a corporation.
Yes,
they have. Like they get the poor white people to give every dollar. If you make them feel better than the Negro, they'll empty their pockets out for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But my thing is, do they really believe that they allowed us to really vote somebody in? They believe that. I wish we can do a story on that to know how deep this rabbit hole goes. that you really don't have authority, and they're not going to let a bunch of nobodies that don't know nothing about nothing put in the next person that's going to run this country. They have a plan, and he's a part of the plan, period.
Well, people don't even realize when you talk about electoral, the college thing, right? You know, that goes
Exactly.
by
That's what they don't get.
yeah, that goes by population. And you know what they do? They would transfer prisoners from like Ohio to like Florida or whatever. So it counts for the population. So it goes towards that. But those prisoners don't have a vote. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, you ever seen them like ship prisoners from one state to another?
I have,
And
yeah.
they do that. If you pay attention, they boost up the population jump. Like I was like looking at this in like 2016, you know what I'm saying? When I was looking at all of this, they actually send prisoners there and it boosts the population, which boosts the electoral votes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Not that they
Really?
have to do it because but yeah, that's still on some like, because that's like some slavery stuff, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They send the prisoners to different states and they have the population, but since they're in prison, they can't vote. So they're still a part of the population. You know what I'm saying?
So you've taken
And
away their votes. That's about the return of this thing. You've taken away their vote. Why? What's the point of taking that away from them? When
yeah,
a lot of times white folk who should be in prison is not, and they're allowed to vote.
mm-hmm,
Dr. Fauci, I bet he voted, but he just murdered millions 2 years ago, 4 years ago, right? But he murdered millions, but was still able to vote, and still has not seen any jail time.
yeah,
That's the sad part about it. And
yeah,
he
and
just
that's
disappeared. He's retired on some island, just enjoying. He's kicked back, got a little margarita or whatever on the side, and little cherry on top, and bragging about how many people he just murdered 4 years ago.
yeah. I mean,
That's
and yeah, and that's the thing too. Like people don't, because like at the end, it really doesn't, like, because all of them, like, they still have the people who have the money, who's like buying the politicians, you know,
Mhm,
who's like saying,
exactly.
well, we need this law passed for like, well, just say for people, environmental law, so we can sell this product, even though it isn't good, like it doesn't pass whatever regulations, but they have enough money and they have the politicians in their pocket
Right,
no matter what side they're on. That's why all the
right.
politicians is just about making money. But
Oh,
we're
making
not
a
going.
lot of money. You go into a
Mhm,
politician, you come out, you rich. All that money, thousands and millions of dollars. And that's
mhm,
what Black folk need to do. We need to understand that Wall Street wasn't built on voting. Wall Street was built on us pulling our monies together and building together. That's what
mhm,
Wall Street was built on. And how everybody else does it, they put money behind their candidates and they get the job done just
mhm.
by having a check, putting some money behind. And we don't do that. We don't put money behind anybody. That's why we can't get any laws passed,
All right.
because we're not putting no money behind nobody, and people ain't looking at Black folk, because Black folk ain't got no money, not like that,
Mhm,
millions of dollars. Some white folk got millions and millions and passed down millions and millions of dollars.
And the thing is, right, and it might sound messed up. I don't know why it would, but like you probably should want the education, because like I don't know. I went to Richmond public schools. I tell you, them schools is trash, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you where countries in the world is. I can't tell you a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
Like I
that's
learned
crazy.
everything on my own. You
On
know,
your own. Yep.
and that's the thing. Like maybe now you'll be like, oh well, I don't want my kids, so now I have no choice but to go put fund this sister school who been trying to do it for 12 years, who make a black
Yeah.
school. Now
Yeah.
you ain't got no choice but to, instead of giving somebody else millions of dollars, to put that into your
Yeah,
own.
you could have
Maybe
gave that
you'll
to
do that
her.
now, right?
Yeah, you could have gave it to her in the first place. You could have gave it to the lady
Right.
with the school, but you chose to give it to somebody else. Said it wasn't gonna do nothing for you, but you gave it to her
Yeah.
freely and was glad to do it.
But
So when are we going to build for us? When are we going to build our own schools? We could support her. You know what I'm saying? We could have supported her. All that money you gave away.
yeah. So shout out to that sister Queen Thais, who been
Yeah,
trying to do that. That's the point.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's not like it's like going to change. Maybe you'll not be comfortable. That's the thing. I'm glad that you're not comfortable. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm glad you ain't comfortable no more. You know what I'm saying? Where you ain't
yeah.
riding around talking about my president is black, you know what I'm saying? When they ain't, and knowing they're not gonna do nothing for you, and then
Yeah,
putting everybody nonsense before your own,
yep.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Ain't that crazy?
so. I'm kind of glad about that because like now you gotta do something, you know, like
Yeah, you got to do
'cause
something yourself.
we screwed anyway. That's why so at least we ain't gonna be we can like do something maybe. Now consider before we get into the topic, you know, and shouts out to everybody that came in, Anthony, Bakari, guys, shouts out to y'all. I want to show you because this happened like 180 some years ago, but it happened tomorrow. But I like to talk about it all the time because this brother to me was like a hero, you know. Um, you ever heard about Madison, Washington?
I've heard something. Yes, yes.
Okay, let me see. All right, I'm gonna play his story, and I got the short one, but people should look him up. Like this brother, um, free, and nobody says it's like because a lot of people don't even know about it. But this brother like got freed a bunch of people. It was like here in Richmond, he got caught, but he freed a bunch of people. They went to the Bahamas or whatever, and he freed like 100 people.
Oh,
So like,
wow. Stop. No. Okay.
mhm.
African people fought every step of the way, some revolts being more successful than others. For obvious reasons, some of the most
Oh, you gotta
successful
shout out this brother because this happened tomorrow.
The best way to start on
This happened tomorrow. On this,
You said that when you text me. I was like, what?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I need to know about that one.
time period, I try to avoid some of the grueling details so that most people will be able to view the content. However, if you're sensitive
I wanted to
to
make
topics like these, please feel free to click away.
about this dude.
In the journal article entitled The Creole Affair, scholars Edward Jervey and Harold Huber share their insight regarding how the so-called Creole Affair was received by historians. Much attention has been given in various studies to different revolts in the period of American Negro slavery. One of the most interesting of these, in no small part because of its leader, Madison Washington, was the uprising in November 1841 on the brig Creole. Little attention has been given to this event by historians. Diplomatic historians usually deal.
Yeah, you know, this is the same year of Amistad. You know, they made a movie talking about give us free, but they don't. This happened that year, but they don't ever talk about this.
Oh, no, never. Why would they talk about this? Are you serious? Wow.
With the matter in one paragraph, and a recently published article puts most of the emphasis on diplomacy.
Yeah, exactly.
The occurrence receives scant attention in the major work on judicial cases. Response to the news of the Haitian Revolution. On October 25th, 1841, the United States brig known as Creole, commanded by Robert Enzor, left the home port in Virginia bound for New Orleans, carrying with it enslaved Africans and other items. The big Creole possessed a crew of 10, the captain's wife, daughter, and niece, and 4 other passengers. The soon-to-be leader of the revolt was an enslaved man named Madison Washington. According to an account by another enslaved individual, Madison Washington was quite the impressive man. William Wells Brown, an ex-slave writing in 1866, declared that he was one of the handsomest of his race. His dignified, calm, and unaffected features announced at a glance that he was endowed with genius and created to guide his fellow men. According to Brown, Madison Washington was born into slavery in Virginia, married in his 20th year, escaped to Canada, but later went back to get his wife. In doing so, he was captured.
Let me tell you this, right? So when he was like young, this brother, he was here in Richmond, right? And he escaped slavery. Well, he wasn't exactly in Richmond, but in Virginia, but he escaped and went to Canada. But he couldn't take his wife with him. So, you know, he was like, man, yo, it doesn't matter if I'm free, if my woman and my family is still enslaved, you know? So he was like, yo, I'm gonna go back and get him. And like what he did, he like put a bunch of like weapons inside of his coat and like sewed it in his clothes and stuff like that and sewed it up. And so he went all the way back to went from Canada back down here and was waiting outside for like for a while trying to figure it out, right? So then one day, like they had like this thing called the corn shucking, which is like, Well, I guess y'all know what a corn shucking is, but it's basically like a damn cookout to me, as far as I'm concerned. But it's not exactly that. But so when he was doing that, right, he was trying to find out about his wife, trying to listen and try to see if his wife was still there, and so that's when he got caught. All right, so
captured, taken to Richmond, and sold to the slave trader who was bound for New Orleans on the Creole.
By the way, yo, when he got caught, like he was fighting like 4 or 5 people. Now, who knows to the story? Could have been like 3 or whatever, but a bunch of white boys. You know how they roll. And he was whipping their ass, but they eventually got him.
Madison Washington was said to be the head cook on the Creole. Presumably, his access would have granted him increased communication with other enslaved men on the ship to prepare the revolt. Madison Washington had the lead role in planning a revolt. It is highly likely that he and the several other slave leaders had heard through the slave grapevine of earlier slave ships getting wrecked on some of the Caribbean islands, and the slaves on board being liberated by the British. The revolt began with a trap of some sort of Zephaniah Gifford, the first mate on the Creole. Once Washington got the upper hand, he immediately called the revolt on, shouting for the men to join him, declaring that if they did not, he would have them thrown overboard.
In total, that he was like, he told the brothers, like, yo, come on, or I'm gonna throw your ass overboard too. But
19 African men joined the fight. Struggle after struggle ensued. Captain Enzor was severely injured and retreated to a different part of the vessel. A man named William Merritt had valuable experience Madison Washington needed, and so his life was spared, and he promised to navigate the ship to the Bahamas, where they would likely be freed under British law. By 1 a.m., the slaves were practically speaking in control of the ship, with Madison Washington without a doubt the leader. Nearly every officer, crewman, and passenger who made depositions attested to his dominating presence and leadership. Although the 19 mutineers took over the cabin, they harmed no one after obtaining control.
And that's after they got it, they didn't hurt none of the people that was hurting them, ready to sell them into slavery. They ain't hurt none of them.
Ain't that something? Ain't that just like us?
Man. And this brother was a G.
Madison Washington took full control and organized the men in a way that ensured no former officer or crew could retake the Creole. As for the Africans who did not participate in the revolt, they were treated much the same as the crew. Arthur Downey makes an interesting point regarding the emotions and tensions that must have permeated the Creole. He imagines that the Africans who did not participate in the revolt must have been hopeful that the British would give them freedom once they reached Bahamian shores, but also fearful that there would be some retaliation if the mutineers failed.
So he's saying the ones who didn't join, they wanted the freedom if they got it, but if they didn't want to get in trouble either. What you think the people who didn't join the revolt was thinking?
They didn't help at all. I mean, come on, but okay, well, you're gonna have some people like that amongst us also. That's not gonna do anything. So as long as they didn't open their mouth, well, as long as they didn't help the other side, I guess, I'm just like, as long as they didn't attempt to help nobody, you know what I'm saying? The other side, I'm good. So y'all still don't know that. If you don't want to help, that's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't, it's okay. As long as you didn't attempt to help anybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like the other side, you sit there, you good. Because this ain't everybody's fight. Everybody ain't gonna want to join in. It's gonna be some folk that's, it's not gonna want to, just in case the other side might win. So I bet I'm gonna sit kind of neutral, and that's what it was about. They were sitting neutral, just they didn't know whose side was gonna win, but we're gonna just sit here. So we're gonna go with the one that won. That's all that was about. That was some coward behavior. That's all.
We're just gonna go with the side that won.
We're gonna just go with whichever side wins. So we're not gonna say nothing. That's cowardice. That's coward behavior. But you got people like that. But it is what it is. As long as they didn't say nothing to give up, to give up nobody. So we good.
Yeah, facts on that one.
Also, the 19 Africans who revolted may have had a mixture of fear and hope as well, as their successful revolt could lead them to freedom under British law, or could lead to a return to the U.S. meeting a gruesome fate. The crew members
can lead them to freedom or could lead them to death, but they have the courage to overtake there, because nobody said you're not going to be scared or any of that. You know, you're a human being, but that's what courage is for. You know what I'm saying? And not wanting to be a slave anymore, and first realizing you're a damn slave and not wanting to be that anymore, so that you can control your own stuff, so that you can make your own draws, your own vegetables, your own fish, you know what I'm saying, your own trees, your own pets, whatever you know you want to make, you know. But anyway,
also waiting in angst for their fate. As the Creole reached the Bahamas, the 19 Africans under Madison Washington continued to keep a tight hold over the vessel. The Honorable William J. years later reportedly said, "The sagacity."
Anthony says second middle passage from upper south to lower south. And I think what he's talking about is like for Richmond, Virginia, you know, you've been to Second Street Market, right? Where they had the farm thing.
Yep. I used to live hang out down there, work down there, downtown.
You know, that was like one of the biggest slave markets. That was
I did not know. You know what? I know that James area, that Jamestown, what was it, that James, whatever, that little bridge. I knew that had, I knew that had a lot to do with it, but I didn't know the market had, you know. I guess I should have known though. You know, where else would they, you know, like auction them off, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, before it was the farmers market.
Real famous down there. That's why that thing keep flooding down there, and Shackled Bottom down there.
Yeah, Shackled Bottom and flood.
Flood all the time.
Yeah, and then a lot of the trails you can walk on is crazy, because like you think about this, they was walking on them trails at night barefooted, you know what I'm saying? And like if you ever been down there, you'll understand, because you walking right by the river and they hiding and all that stuff. And like, yo, it's crazy, because I like walk out there with my dog, you know what I'm saying? But I be looking at all the stuff they got down there. But so Richmond, anyway, like Richmond was the biggest market, and they used to send a lot of people from Richmond to Louisiana down south, which was another biggest slave market, you know what I'm saying? So they sent like a lot of people from, like he's saying, the upper south to the lower south, like millions of people. And so that's what they was doing with this brother when he fought back, you know, because the interstate slave trade was the biggest thing, you know, like settling slaves between states, you know. But
bravery and humanity of this man do honor to his name, and but for his complexion would excite universal admiration. As soon as a Creole landed in the Bahamas, a battle between U.S. authority and British authority took place. Southerners protested and sought to get back what they deemed to be U.S. property.
You see that? White Southerners was like, them Negroes got free. We need to get them Negroes back. And so they sued and fought them and took them to court to get them Negroes back.
Ain't that something? How you gonna fight? How you gonna steal some people and they escape, and you gonna go to court and steal them back? What in the world? Oh, these people. Go ahead.
The Africans who did not participate were immediately freed in the Bahamas, but the 19 men were arrested as British authorities were attempting to address the situation. It became a long legal battle.
All right, so I already told you about that. Just so we can get to, I want you to hear one last part, though. Let me see.
All charges of murder and piracy. And there we have it, folks. A runaway slave, a love story, a courthouse drama, and the real Pirates of the Caribbean. I hope you enjoyed it.
Let me see.
Well, actually, hang on. There's one last thing. Not all the slaves chose to take their freedom.
What?
Rachel Glover, a young girl named Mary, 2 other women, and one of their sons chose to sail back with Ensign and his crew.
Go back into slavery.
We don't actually know why they chose to stay.
That's crazy.
But they may have returned in the hope.
We don't know why. We know why at this point. We got more information than they do, but so I think I know why. But
being reunited with children, husbands, and other family members. When writing this, I seriously considered leaving that part out, but I think it helps to highlight the terrible choices that the institution of slavery forced on Black women. and shows just how powerful a mother's love can really be.
All right, so some black folks chose to go back into slavery even though they was free.
Even though they was free. That made
And it don't make sense to go back to get your children if you were enslaved and lost your children because you were enslaved. So you would go back as a free person to get your children, not as a slave, right? But some Negroes to this very day
never learn.
choose to be slaves. So
till today, yep. We saw a whole lot of it this last few months. A whole lot of it.
Yeah. All right, so and this is what we want to talk about. Some of the people, all the stuff that's been happening the last few months, the last few 100 years, 1,000 years, however long. But I'll play this one.
Y'all, this is exhausting. Being an American citizen is exhausting.
Yes, it is, honey. Yes, it is.
Being a Black American citizen is exhausting. Being an Arab American citizen is exhausting. Being a non-white American citizen is exhausting. This is Denoris Richardson. This is Denoris Richardson, another Black man who was found hanging in the South, in Alabama. This is the second video I have done in 6 months about a Black man found hanging. I'm using the language that the media uses. I'm assuming they don't want to get the public riled up or upset, whatever have you. But a Black man found hanging in the South, you know, back in the day, we'd call that a lynching. And interestingly, he was found hanging after having filed complaints against the local police.
Ain't that something?
Okay. I talk to you all a lot about voting down the ballot and knowing your local politicians, because all these things matter when it comes to your local politicians, right? You also have to know your local law enforcement. You also have to know who your police chiefs are. You also have to know your local legislative, your local laws. You can say, oh, it's not my job, I'm not an expert in it, but we have to become experts in it. The Black Panthers literally read them joints through and through because they knew they had to. And publicly, as much as we pressure our politicians, I keep telling you about pressuring your politicians, we have to pressure our law enforcement also to investigate these things when they happen, because if not, it keeps happening. It's 2024. My God in heaven, why are we still having Black men being hung? And I'm acutely aware that I have.
So wait a minute. She said we just, hold on. She said, what did she say? We have to force them to investigate. How we've been trying to do that. And so what, that's all we're supposed to do is just force them?
Yeah,
Why
wait
not
on them.
Our own force. Why not create our own investigating team to investigate them? Like the Black Panthers were doing. They were investigating. They were holding those creeps accountable, right? They didn't just sit up there and wait for them to investigate it and tell them, oh no, we're not going to hold them accountable. They was, within their rights. No, we're not going to do that. And why is she saying that 2024, she can't believe it's still happening? It's been happening. It never stopped. It never stopped. Right. But those police officers are on code. They call them suicides, all of them. Or they were saw hanging beside a tree. That's what they say, beside a tree. How are you hanging beside a tree? Or tied up on a tree, or some kind of language they use, instead of saying they was hung, somebody came and hung them. They don't say those words.
Yeah, I mean, you looking for a savior that is not going to come. And the first form of protection, it will be self-protection. You know what I'm saying? If I was to give you any advice on how to stay alive, because no matter who it is, right, you have no friends. I don't understand that why we can't learn that. We are probably LD for real, you know what I'm saying? But we have no friends, and it doesn't matter how it comes, right? You're not gonna find somebody who's gonna be like, oh well, I'll be the good guy who investigates and get them to investigate themselves. Well, how are they gonna do that? Why would they ever do that? That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's America's army for the for local stuff, like, and like speaking on local elections, like if that's anything, that's the thing people want to be involved in, but I don't see people even talking about that, or getting involved in being that, or running in their particular area so you can find out where the money in your area is going in the first place, Because if you did, I think you'll be surprised that it's the same thing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Until you make it happen on your own, where it's like you have no other choice but to do whatever, then like that's why we still talking about, oh, it's 2024. I can't believe it, because we think that we still believe in white saviors. We think that there's good white people out there. We think that lesser of two evils. We believe in all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that somebody's gonna save us other than us.
Well, you keep
that we don't even know about. I literally just finished a rally about a Black Connecticut inmate who was murdered by correctional officers, and they're trying to cover it up. So now we are publicly pressuring our Attorney General here to make it public and release the video, so the public can know what's happening.
Hold on, let me see, because I got
The FBI will now be conducting a thorough investigation into the case. I'm going to remind you, Mr. Richardson was found hanging by a rope on September 28th. This was at a home in Colbert County. The sheriff's office ruled his death to be we caught foul on that immediately. The AP reported, but his wife.
And then it's like black people that be like, that's what I didn't understand. Like black people, like, why would we want the FBI to be dismissed? Like, why would you? Do you know why the FBI was even created in the first place? You
exactly. No, half the people don't know.
Right. It was to make sure that you and your girl is arguing and you broke and you and your kid, you ain't there to see your child. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they was there for. And so that you ain't getting inspired by no Negro other than dancing and singing or playing basketball or something, jumping and running. That's the only inspiration you can get. That's why the FBI was created in a nutshell, you know. Not so that you be like, hey, let's go to this. Even if you go to the church and be like, yo, let's meet at this church and like plan on how we gonna get all the brothers that's been to war, because you know black people was using that to their advantage by getting guns and getting trained. Be like, all right, so y'all bring y'all guns, we're gonna bring all of our guns to this place, and we're gonna find a way to make sure that our children can get home without getting lynched. You know what I'm saying? Without having somebody investigate any of that stuff. Before we have anything to investigate, we're gonna be there with the shotguns doing it ourselves to make sure it don't happen, you know. And the FBI was like, nah, y'all Negroes cannot meet up, you know what I'm saying? That's the law. It can't be 2 or 3 Negroes gathering together trying to figure out a way to, you know, that's the slave codes, you know what I'm saying?
Ian Richardson was not convinced he died in that manner, telling AL.com that she demands answers. She said her husband filed a federal lawsuit in the month of February against police in Sheffield, where they live, accusing them of taking part in abusive behavior while he was detained in the Sheffield City Jail in 2022. The latest filing in the federal case was a motion to substitute parties with Denora Richardson's wife. Richardson, who was a coach for children's baseball and football team, claimed he was assaulted, denied medical attention, and sprayed with tear gas and shot with a taser while in jail. Lee Richardson has not accused anyone.
All right. So yeah, because I want to try to get through as many as I can. You know, no disrespect to this brother. You know, RP to this brother. But you want to say something, Cassidra?
No, I'm just listening.
Because all right,
he was a
now this is all happening. I tried to go, you know, I tried to get as many as I can, so I stuck with the ones that's been happening. That I don't know where in the hell black people have been at. Like, what in the hell do y'all think that Project 2020 was cool, or Project 1992 was cool, or Project 2008 was cool? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was cool, but Project 2025 is where I draw the line now. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me, you know, because they was like, oh, well, when I see black people being hung, like, well, look around you, bro. Like, they just calling it suicide, aren't they? I would be like, yo, I live in Virginia. Don't go out to these counties. Like, they talk about Charlottesville, but you better not stop to get gas or go pee till you get to Charlottesville unless you got something on you. Like, I promise you that, you know. And And that's ain't never gonna change. Like no matter who is there, and I promise you that.
Ain't never gonna change.
A Chicago man found dead in Henderson, and the case is getting nationwide attention thanks to social media.
Yeah, we're talking about 21-year-old Javion McGee. He was a truck driver and was found dead on Wednesday with a rope around his neck and leaning against a tree, triggering hundreds to post their suspicions on social media that McGee was lynched.
Today, the Vance County Sheriff disputed those claims. He is calling it a death investigation. Tom George is in Henderson now. So, Tom, I know that you spoke to the sheriff one-on-one. Walk us through all of this.
How do you lean on a tree when you're dead?
Really blew up.
How do you lean there?
And put the rope there after he died, right?
Exactly. How do you put the rope on you after you die and you tied on a tree? How do you do that? That must be some psycho stuff. How do you do that?
Well, you know, Negroes is magical, so
yeah, must be something. But it's not a hanging though, y'all. It's not a hanging. He was what, leaning on the tree, y'all. Leaning.
A month ago, right? Yeah. Last month. Okay.
Up overnight, as you mentioned, social media, a TikTok was viewed 3 million times, but also here in the community, people are concerned, but no one more concerned than Javion's family, who feel that they have been left in the dark about what's been going on from thousands of miles away. Where they
consider like, yo, and black people need to get with, like, they don't even understand like how dangerous it is. Like, he's a truck driver, like, you know, they be pulling the pin, you know, those trailers, like they will pull your pin. That's why you got to check it you got to do walk around every time, you know, pre-inspection, you know, but you should, but they will pull your damn pin out. You know what I'm saying?
Are you serious? And you can't see it at night, can you?
No. Well, I guess I don't know. Like you can. I don't know. I don't be on the road like that. You know what I'm saying?
So they need to be having a sundown book, because a lot of black folk don't even know that there's still sundown towns in America. You guys, it's still sundown towns here in America, North Carolina. Denton, down there in Denton, you know, and the last couple of weeks, last week we was going through there, and I was like, y'all know the sundown town. I'm like, y'all know, you know, y'all don't want to be stuck in Denton sundown. But that's true. But we need a sundown book. We had one before. It needs to be revised and sent out again. Seriously.
Yeah, Green Book. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You know, like it would be good to document. I know, like pretty much, like if you're not in the area where other black people is at, you pretty much a sundown town, like for real.
You don't know.
And like I had some white dude be like, "Oh yeah," like because he was talking to a bunch of other dudes, but like he would say slick stuff that you could tell, like you already know what time it is. He was from like Montana. It's like, "Oh well, we love Negroes there. We barely see them." So like pretty much they treat them like some kind of show pony or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, who knows? But, yo, like that's why I want to say, like, because that shit is dangerous. Like, because if somebody do that, like the trailer fall off on the highway, you know, it could kill people. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
Or they'll just do something like cut your locks. So when you deliver it, you know, there's stories I'll be hearing from like black dudes.
Serious? Why are you messing with people? You know, what you need a camera around your truck now? Dang. Why can't we just be free? Leave me alone. Get the hell out of my way. You stay over there. Let me stay over here. And just let's do this. You know what I'm saying? What is the problem? So y'all need cameras around y'all trucks then, underneath it. Sound like to me. And on each side. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, you do. I think you do, because I don't even be on the road stuff like that, you know. But I know I talk to people that do, you know, so I already know what time it is, you know. But
of Chicago and Texas, pushing for answers from the sheriff. I was able to speak with the sheriff a little bit earlier. He is trying to put everything into perspective and urging people not to jump to conclusions. What we know is that Javion McGee is from suburban Chicago and was in Henderson with his trucking company. He had dropped off a load at the Walmart distribution center off Vanco Mill Road. Investigators say a 911 call came in Wednesday morning, and Javion was found sitting up against a nearby tree outside the fenced area of the center with a rope around his neck. The sheriff says McGee was identified by a picture and told us he didn't see signs of foul play, but also wouldn't call this a suicide. He did say that there may have been evidence of Javion buying rope from a nearby Walmart prior to this. Sheriff Brame today urging people not to jump to conclusions.
There is not a lynching in Vance County. The young man was not dangling from a tree. He was not swinging from a tree. The rope was wrapped around his neck. It was not a noose. It was not a knot in the rope. So therefore, it was not a lynching here in Vance County.
But those explanations aren't adding up for Javion's family. A spokesperson for his mom in Texas says she feels the sheriff hasn't been forthcoming with information. And they say this is entirely out of character for Javion. He was always in touch with his family on his long trekking trips. And
it doesn't make sense to deliver something and then sit outside the thing and then off yourself in a random woods at some random state that you probably never been to before.
Exactly. So what sense does that make? Yeah. But we're not concerned about this. Nobody, just because white folk didn't tell you, hey, y'all, we lynching our asses now. But y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because the police keep saying that they're suicides. No, it's not. Some of these people have bruises. You know, for instance, Danye, who what's her name? His mom found him in the backyard. You know, she was one of those Michael Brown, what you call them, like activists, right? And they killed her son instead of her, and they hung him in the backyard. Can you imagine? And they said this boy had his fist balled up, he had bruises and stuff, and they called it a suicide. Make it make sense. She said it was nowhere for him to actually, no chair, nothing was around him. Sheets, she said he was hung by the sheets. She didn't know, you know, they wouldn't give her the sheets back, right? But she talks about this. I don't know where she is now. You know, I think she moved to Texas, but she kind of got out of there. But they killed her son instead of her. Now, they wanted to hurt that woman that bad. But my thing is, you know, the police officer had something to do with him because all of those activists in Missouri died. All of them, all six. It was like 6 or 7 of them, if I'm not mistaken. But all of them died, came up dead, and it was suicides.
Yeah,
right.
And see, and that's the thing. People don't. It ain't today where we should be hiding. We should have been hiding under our bed for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, yo, we are in danger and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a you know, like we be out here lollygagging, not paying attention to our surroundings, thinking everything is all sweet, you know, when it's not, you know. And like history doesn't teach us anything. Like the same lessons over and over don't teach us anything. We think we got friends, but your friends turn on you every single time. It just doesn't make, you know, any sense, you know, but it is what it is. I guess maybe I'm hoping we'll learn one day, but it don't look good from my vantage point. Anyway, I'll play the rest.
There were no signs that anything was wrong.
Javion is a loving, funny, good to be around. You know, he never had any disturbing issues or nothing like that. He loved his family. You know, he loved just enjoying himself, and he loved being a truck driver. That was what he loved to do. So it's like everybody is confused right now. Like, what is this?
Yeah, a lot of frustration among the family, a lot of unanswered questions. We know that some of his family is making their way to.
Let me see.
And this is what I always told Javion. Be honest. Because you'll get much further if you just be honest. He had broke a vase one time. We had in picture, was it a vase or something? And he broke it, and him and his friend, they was playing or whatever, and they broke it. And they glued it back together. I don't know what they did to put that thing back together. But a breeze of wind shattered it. It was like we was all doing something, and it just went quick. I'm like,
all right. So, you know, I just wanted to play that. Now here's another brother here I wanted to show.
Was last seen alive in. And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. A murder in Mississippi is now on the radar of federal investigators. This comes as an autopsy of the victim, Rasheem Carter, revealed he was beheaded. The 25-year-old was last seen alive in October. Now, parts of his body were found in the woods a month later. And another haunting detail, his family says Carter went to the local police department and reported being scared for his life. He believed a group of white men were following him. My next guest has been intimately involved in this case. Joining me now, Ben Crump law investigator, Arthur Silky Slim Reed. It's just mind-blowing to see this kind of case happening, Arthur. And it's my understanding he last talked to his mother on the phone October 1st, and he warned her. He was saying that there were some issues with his employer, right?
Yes, with his employer. And then he said that 3 trucks of white men had started following him. And then he texted his mom saying that if anything happened to me, so-and-so has something to do with it. He have these men trying to kill me. And then he was also caught on a deer camera in the woods with a large stick on his shoulder, and his shirt was ripped off of him, and he had bruises on him. So someone was after him, and someone was chasing
Sounds
him.
like a hunt.
Yes,
they're hunting.
They're hunting him. That's right. And he was seen on that deer camera, and that photo that was on that deer camera, even though they knew he was missing, was circulated through the town at a truck stop during breakfast time, and people were talking about it. And finally, we found out that he was hunted by someone, and you don't just make accusations about someone's trying to kill you and then come up dead. What's crazy about it is that the sheriff on the first day ruled out foul play. We don't see any foul play. When his head was detached from his spinal cord.
How does that happen?
I don't know, man. It's Mississippi. It's Mississippi burning 2023. And we're on top of this 24/7. We haven't rested on this case. And think about this, that we've had this case since December, right after the remains were found in November, and couldn't get a news story broke on it. Only a couple of people would show up. Only a couple of cameras would show up. So we couldn't get the story broke until now, once we had the images of the remains. And what the state was actually telling us is we're conducting an autopsy. So we're going to turn the body over to y'all as soon as we get through. So when they call and say that they were turning over the body, when I went to Mississippi and it was the size of a shoebox, I was like, what kind of sick joke is this?
Wow. And we're looking at exclusive pictures you provided for us here. What are we looking at, Arthur, right now exactly?
That's the
What
vertebrae.
is the skin at?
Of the vertebrae. The other picture that you see, that's the skull.
Hold on. How did the skull get so clean? Did they boil the skin off? What the hell? How is this somebody's body? What they do? Scrape the bones? Scrape the what? What is it? What is that? How long does it take for your body to look like that? And why did his mom tell him to go to the police? And why didn't his mom tell him to get the hell out of town? Son, I mean, when you first start having a problem with your boss like that, to that point where you are telling your mom that if something happens to me, my boss did it, get your ass get home now. Seriously, what are you doing? What are we telling our kids to go to the police, son? You know who did it. You know. And they told him, no, we're not babysitters. What they tell him? Leave. They told him, we don't. What did they tell him? We're not babysitters, or we're not, whatever it was, to leave, period. Because they knew who was doing what. And they knew what was going on. And they knew it was probably getting close to dark. So why did it take him so long? Why didn't he leave town or get out of there? Seriously, why are you risking your life working there, and you know that your boss has either said something or made you feel uncomfortable? Why is it that you're still at the job? We don't have enough sense to leave a job if we feel threatened. We don't have sense enough to leave an area. We don't have sense, because this is not something that happened like tonight, today. This stuff was happening to make him feel like this. So nobody checked the boss. Nobody checked to see who those 3 cars were. Nobody investigated anybody. Did anybody go to jail? Something happened here. His boss should have went his ass to jail. Or the boy's family should have showed up at the boss's house. I'm just saying. Jungle justice is in, when you have a government that won't keep you safe, you entitled to keep your family safe yourself. Period. None of this makes sense to me. It just makes me mad. because I don't understand why any of it happened. It shouldn't have never happened that way. You see them bones? Those bones are like clean, like the dog ate the meat or something, like the bird. You know how the birds get to the thing and eat all the meat off the bones, and that's how it look. How long does it take for your body to look like that for a cast? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, you know.
He must have been out there how long? That I just can't make sense of it. The story makes no sense to me. Because I'm your palm and I'm gonna tell you, son, go to the police. Come on home right now. You got gas? I'm cash apping you. Let's go. Seriously, don't stop. Pass go. Let's go. Head for the straight. Go to the expressway. Let's go. Seriously, what are we doing here? That makes sense. Why was he not headed home? You gonna stay down there knowing all of this is going on? You should have been gone.
Well, we have faith that there's that savior faith, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell the police.
We understand that too, but still, look, we got a box, a shoebox. What do you say, a shoebox? That's not funny. That's crazy. That's sad. Why was that boss not checked? Nothing happened to the boss. Nothing happened to the boss. That boy didn't have no uncles. He didn't have no cousins. He didn't have no daddy. He didn't have nobody that could handle some business. Nobody. That's why this keeps happening to Black people. If we start doing to them what they do to us, just like they hunted him, you should go show up, put your black sheet on your face and show up. Seriously, that's the only way this shit gonna stop.
Yeah.
It's not gonna stop unless you stop it.
You know, because it don't make sense, but it does make sense. Like, you know how they be like, they got sundown towns. I'd be like, we should have sun up towns then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. My son come calling me. Hey, Mom, you know I got 3 loads of okay, you got gas in your car? Here, you keep going. Just go. You get on the expressway. Get on up out of there. Seriously, why are you going? What are you doing? Where's the expressway? Why are we even, telling our children to stop at the police officers, the police station? That make no sense. Don't you know the dangers of a police officer with a young man by himself, Black at that? You know the dangers. Remember the 3 Mississippi boys? Even though they was white, they still died, didn't they? By the hands of the police, who stopped them 12 o'clock at night, let them release them at 12 o'clock at night. Who releases people at 12 o'clock at night? Please, it's crazy.
And
that's so sad. That's so sad.
Now the people who reported, they just, we just denied involvement, so that was enough for the police.
It's just and they said it was his head is detached, but they said no, it was no foul play. So they're on code. That's what it's telling me. You're on code. So now you need to be investigated. All of them who said it was on code need to be investigated because they had something to do with it. So because they said it's on code, they said it's what it didn't look like foul play. How does his head get detached from his body? Something had to happen.
Yeah.
So what did he say? Just disconnected on its own? So everybody had something to do with that. Everybody was in them 3 carloads need to, jungle justice. Period.
Yeah, facts.
Crazy.
Facts, all facts. Shouts out to MD2 in the building. And by the way, y'all, if any of y'all, the link is in the chat. If any of y'all want to say something,
hey, Anthony, who's that? Personal Kit 21.
That's MD2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome, you guys.
But then police also said it was possible for animal activity. And we checked with the death investigator who said 100% that was possible at that time, with that length of time in the woods.
Activity.
Rashim's the family wants a federal investigation into this. They are very upset about it. They actually have.
I don't need no federal investigation. I'm going to investigate myself. I don't need no federal nothing. Because I already know they're not going to give them no justice.
Well, they had the people in. They had the people that was in.
They had all the names, huh?
They had the people. Now I'm saying like they had the they was asking for a federal investigation, but no federal, like no president, no federal mandate was put out there.
Okay, it don't have to be, because we as a family could do our own research. We don't need federal nothing. We can investigate it ourselves and handle it as we go. There was a picture on the show, right, that this man, his wife and daughter were murdered, right? And everybody that was involved was digging up dirt. Everybody from the top to the middle to the bottom, everybody. And it was probably like 7 people involved, and all 7 was digging up dirt. Seriously, it just makes no sense. We have to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And we talk about high up dirters.
Now, so I wish some of y'all brothers would come, because like Cassidra shouldn't even be talking like this. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be up to Cassidra to say this. You know what I'm saying? It should be brothers talking like this. But unfortunately, we got to take riders wherever we can get them at this point, Cassidra. So
it's just sad. I'm serious. I mean, it's so sad just to have your son call you, say, "Mom," and you know you could hear the fear. You know, just being a mom, you can hear the fear. It's not even my son, but I could hear the fear in his voice of when he was calling, "Mom." You know, what do you do as a mom? Are you sitting there? I'd been, baby, I'm on my way. I'd have been in the car. I swear. Ride around. Just don't let them catch you. Ride around. Don't let them catch you. I'm coming. Seriously. No. What the hell? I'm on my way. I swear. And we're gonna do what we need to do here. Give me some names while you driving around. Give me some names. Just spout them out. I'm driving. Spout them out. Seriously. Because I need to know what's going on. I need to know who I'm gonna step to first. Period. Because you know he had to know him because he probably worked with him, or the boss, you know, probably with some of his friends. But still, if you got the boss, you got the friends. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just got some random text. You know how they be sending you them Democrat things?
Yeah.
It said, "Tonight come together with loved ones to grieve. Tomorrow's join thousands of others for in-person actions this weekend." Now, y'all, if y'all do, that's what I'm saying. If y'all do something talking about come together to save America, but don't do nothing for your damn self, like I don't know what to tell you.
What are you coming together?
Now,
save America to do what?
Now you scared.
Yeah, what, scared of what? What are they scared of? I'm still not. Are we understanding this man has been in office before? Why 2025? What, he gonna put you in slavery this year, but didn't do it 4 years ago? Come on, make it make sense? Y'all not making no sense. Making no sense whatsoever. Let's save America. Well, America's done. What are we doing trying to save anything? Save yourself. Go buy some land. Go start your own schools. How about that? Take that same money that you gave her and put up for some schools, some land, fixing up some houses, building some houses, something.
Yeah,
ain't got time to march for Save America. I really don't. I ain't got time for no get together.
Yeah.
Only get together I want to get to is we buying land. We financing some houses. We got a bank get together. We got a school we just put together. That's okay. Now we can get together for that. But all of this Save America, what the hell? I don't give a damn about America. For real. It's done.
Yeah, I think either
texts like that. Why don't never get no texts like that?
I don't know why they won't stop. I don't know what I signed up or what I put my thing in, but they I'll be hitting delete and all that stuff, but they keep sending me the junk. But I don't know, Cassidra. Maybe either we pissing black people off, or either they too busy hiding under their bed because they scared to death right now. But I'm just pissed off that you wasn't scared last week when the same thing was happening to you. This is another brother here.
Oh wow, is that Jacoby?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to elementary school swinging from a tree. I also told you guys how the grandfather was sent a picture, and it was a godsend that somebody actually sent him a picture for proof before they try to get up here and say that it was self-inflicted. Now, that original video that I did is stitched to this one right here. Go over there and check it out. I gave some details in that, but didn't have a lot of information. Now I do. The picture that was sent to the grandfather shows that Jacoby was in the tree swinging by a rope, and he was in a fetal type position where rigor mortis had set in. Now, everybody knows that when you hang something from a hook, from a tree, whatever, with a rope, anything, it's going to dangle. It's not going to be in a fetal position. Somebody did this to this young man. Somebody did it. I also spoke about somebody that got arrested that is attached to Homes of Hope for Children. So I found out that information. And then also, we're going to do a call to action to the mayor, to the police chief, to the board of directors, everybody.
They always calling somebody else to do some damn action.
Exactly. What the
Always
hell?
calling
What the
somebody
police
else.
gonna do when the police had something to do with it? That gets me when your baby come up missing. They should call the police. Call the police, the same police that probably got her, snatched her. We gonna call them. What the hell you calling them for? They don't never have nothing good to do with you. Can never help you find nothing. Can never help you save your life. But when you want to kill, steal, and destroy, what you want to call them for? What? Why don't you get the men together and create some type of movement globally, a global movement to stop this stuff right here?
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be like Obama and call out black. If we want to do something, you know what I'm saying? Like if we don't want to be like, let's be real, like bitches, you know what I'm saying? We might want to start protecting ourselves, our children, our family, our women, you know, and not begging to somebody or getting on the news crying or looking weak or sitting there talking about, well, we need to do this to save ourselves, because nothing is ever going to save us but us. And that's what I've been saying like the whole time. Like, we have no friends, nobody is coming to save us. I wasn't just saying that because it sounded good, you know. It's because you have no damn friends. Nobody's ever going to come and save you. And now you upset because I don't know what you was looking for. Because let's see, when this happened 3 weeks ago, all right? So, well, this been happening, but it's a common, as he says, as he start researching it, he realizes this is a common trend happening around America. Now, what's irritating to me is I've only been talking about it on here for like 8 years now, saying the same thing for like 8 years. And we straight went all the way back to the other side and started from scratch. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And now we're shocked again. Now, black people who used to be like, why would black people say I can't believe? Now they're saying, I can't believe it's 2024 and it's blah, blah, blah. Those are the same people saying, I can't believe it's 2024 and now this is happening to me, right? Why didn't we support this non-black person who wasn't really going to do anything for black people? You know what I'm saying? Or even that the other side, or that some redneck is on your side. They don't give a damn about like, what did I tell you about white? Like, I didn't even pay attention. I can guess how white bitches voted. I can guess how those Mexican dudes voted. I can guess how every other group besides black people voted. And I can guess how black people voted. And I ain't pay attention to none of it, right? Just because I'm tired of y'all this time. Y'all pissed me off this time. I ain't gonna lie. Because y'all keep saying, acting like this ain't happening every single day. Like, and y'all don't do anything about it. It ain't like y'all gonna do anything about it now. You know what I'm saying? And y'all damn sure wasn't going to do anything about it any other time. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you had got your way or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you was going to do is just go back to talking about the same nothing. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, you want to say something, Cassidra?
I think you've said enough. I mean, we can sit here, but people still say, I don't know. This is 2024. They still doing this. Now, this one was the saddest one ever right here. He was 16.
Mm-hmm. And another one in Mississippi.
Hey guys, let's have a humble moment. This right here, number 52, is Dominique Stewart. Dominique is 16, was 16. Dominique was found in Prentice, Mississippi 5 days ago, hanging. He was hanging at the bridge.
Hanging. How you get there? Hanging.
His mom was looking for him after he was missing. 16 years old, hanging at the bridge. 2024.
Oh, Lord, please don't say it.
He was hanging at the bridge. Where's all the news coverage? Where's all the outrage? Where is the FBI? Where we have politicians fighting for the black vote.
Hold on. My good brother MG2 just came on. What's going on, MG2?
Just enjoying listening to the two of you guys, man.
MG2.
Always dig it.
Hey.
Always dig it there, brother Forecast. I was going to try to type. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I thought you would be hiding under a bed somewhere. We had to come out for, we only got we had to come out from under the bed for a few minutes to talk. I thought she was hiding under the bed.
Oh no, because I'm in a panic room right now, so I don't have to hide under the bed.
You better stay there for a minute.
Oh yeah, till 2032. You know, when the last Republican leaves. Oh, I'm shook. Yes, sir, I'm shook. You know, yeah, I mean, I'm just enjoying it. It's as simple as this. I have to bring some bad news, and it's not bad news like folks think. It's bad news for Peckerwoods. It is not bad news for Black folk. So I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news. The crotch grabbing Klansman is in office. Oh darn! But the thing is he's there to negotiate United Snakes and Western so-called Anglo powers decline, and I love it. I love it. He's there to go ahead and negotiate white folks' surrender to the rest of the world. And that's more important than anything else, because unfortunately, we got too many folks, our folks, that are caught up emotionally because they think that they're part of a country that they've never been a part of except when they were enslaved. So all I can say is President Crotch Grab, the artist formerly known as Trump, I have to hand it to him. You know, a 34-time rapist, felon, con man, liar, thief, insurrectionist, instigator, is now leading. He's leading. In other words, everything our ancestors wanted to see happened. All we got to do is capitalize on it. When I say capitalize, I'm not only just talking money. All our folks have to do is just say, thank God. Because I have a feeling that a lot of folks that think this thing is the end of the world, it will be the end of the world for them, but not for those of us who know that this is just the beginning. And I'm talking the beginning of the downfall of everything Peckerwood. I'll pass the mic.
So wait a minute. We have a felon to beat out a prosecutor?
That's exactly what I said on the live stream. You have a 34-time felon. Lion
prosecutor out, huh?
Right. Every brother that's out there that's done any kind of crime, it's open season right now because most brothers had maybe 1 or 2 felonies, and a lot of it wasn't their fault. So now I'm ready to rob the Federal Reserve. You know, I'm thinking about carjacking Ben Bernanke or Jerome Powell. I mean, hey, why not? I mean, I'm thinking about carjacking Elon Musk. You know. Because hey, if felonies can get you that far, shoot, I might be vice president.
You could be whole president, be having 34 felonies. So all of the felonies need to be released from jail, huh? All the felons. So give them jobs now. So maybe they can have jobs now.
Yeah, I mean, they should run for your
positions.
I mean, Ray Ray and Pookie that were in jail for a while, racked up a couple of felonies. I'm voting for them for governor.
So come on, put your name on the ballot, brothers.
Yeah.
We got you. We got him. We got you. This is so funny.
So MD2. So you think does that mean Hunter Biden going to jail then?
Oh yeah, he's I think that he and P Diddy are going to be cellmates. So they already got that lined up.
They can oil each other up.
Yeah, he and P Diddy are going to have a lot to talk about.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We can talk about all them kids they molested and raped.
No, go ahead, MD2.
No, I just tell you guys. I always tell folks to use things as an opportunity or a lesson, a tool, or a weapon. It's such an opportunity to use this as a definitely a lesson, because a lot of folks were caught up into thinking that they still belong to America, and United Snakes has never wanted us except for our labor and our deaths. So clearly, it is not something that's meant for us for like the last half a millennium. Next thing, but using it as a tool, Donald Trump. If you see what's happening in terms of the entire geopolitical, and I said that on a live stream this morning, the entire non-white world is adjusting their portfolios. Here's what I mean. They're planning to see how they could delink themselves from everything white. And they're using this as a tool. They're saying, we know that now that we got this spoiled brat, in other words, the real representation of what United Snakes is from the days of Columbus all encompassed in this one character they call Donald Trump. The rest of the world knows that. Black folks are still hoping and praying and thinking that they can assimilate and one day we'll get along. And like you said, that love fest text that you got. But the rest of the world is saying, we know that we're going to have to go ahead and either war with these bastards or we're going to have to delink ourselves so they can burn on their own. So this thing is a tool for everyone. It could be a tool for black folks. I've already made my tool. I got my list of things I'm going to use. But the next thing is a weapon. This is one of the best weapons that we've had. Here you got the resurgence of Richard Spencer-esque, even though he went ahead and endorsed Kamala. You got the birth of quote unquote so-called pseudo white nationalism. That is really, it's a joke. It's a comic book. And the rest of the world is not just looking, I'm talking everyone who's not white is looking at this like, damn, we could go ahead and make it kill itself. We could go ahead and it will destroy its economy. We'll do whatever we can. Look at what's happening even with their cousins in Russia, another group of Neanderthals. They're saying, hey, we're still at war with these bastards and we're going to take advantage. This is one of the best weapons that black folks have. Instead of us crying and trying to go ahead and pontificate why they're lynching us, Dr. John Henrik Clarke said it very well. We know how to kill. It's not like we don't know how. But Dr. John Henrik Clarke says, if you want things to change, in other words, I'm paraphrasing him, and you want to stop this kind of stuff from happening, like Javion McGee, and I mean, the list goes on. All that needs to be done is when one of theirs, whether it's wearing a badge or not, when one of theirs ends up missing, no one knows who did it. They know how. They know why. But they ain't going to know who. And that's the key if you want to really make things change. Again, I seriously doubt that it's going to happen because most black folk are still scared. They're shook. I call them, and the new Death Row Records, they're shook night. I mean, it's like, it's time to grow a set and do what's for our best interest. I'll pass the mic there, Brother Forecast.
So let me ask you one more question, MD2. Because like, I'm not gonna lie, today it almost felt like I was in a time machine, and you and Cassidra both have seen this, and me and my, I guess, inexperience, I still have faith, or it took a hit this time, I'm not gonna lie. But what I don't understand is how because maybe, when I, 2012 or whatever year it was, I was caught up in the same thing, right? But I still got reverted to this point of, well, maybe we'll wake up and do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Even in all of my naiveness, But today I've seen so many black people like, oh, I can't believe that America is quote unquote racist in 2024. Like, this shows us that America will never do this for black people and that America is racist. Then they throw in the women thing and all of that stuff too. But, but my question for you is like why? Like, how is it almost like it seemed like we had took like 2 steps forward, but then took 10 steps backwards. And it's like, why did we revert to, I can't believe, and this is just showing, like, it's literally the same thing. I can't believe that Mexicans voted Republican. They literally did that before. Like, I can't believe white bitches are white bitches. They literally did the same thing. And like, it's literally the same thing over and over. And I look at history, it's like, oh yeah, they do the same thing. But now I'm actually seeing it. And you and Cassidra have both seen this time and time again. But you can imagine, like, the first time you seen it, like, yo, why are you doing this? Like, so can you like explain that to me? Like, why? Like, what the hell is going on?
I mentioned a little bit this morning on that live stream. See, and I did a video a long time ago, and I keep bringing it up. There's a disease of the black mind, of the
MG2, you cut out. You still there?
Or, we could be in Tanzania or Texas.
MG2,
hashtag MPAMS.
MG2, you had cut out for like.
Oh, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for like the last 10, 15 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Basically, black folks suffer from have this disease. It's epigenetic. And I'm talking black folks, whether we're from Tanzania to Texas. It doesn't matter where we are on this planet. It's a disease of the African mind is called MPAMS, MPANS, MPAMS. And what MPAMS stands for is Massa, please accept me, sir. That's a serious disease. It's worse than COVID. And the thing is we suffer from that so much for wanting to have external validation, for someone to acknowledge us and look at us and recognize us and love us and admire us and know that we're a man, or we exist, or we got views, or we got it. Look at my followers, like and subscribe. I mean, it's a serious disease, and a lot of that is because we've lost our drapetomania. See, when we were taking drapetomania pills back in the days of so-called desegregation, that's what kind of messed us up big time. Because when you take drapetomania pills, you don't want to leave their plantation. You want their acceptance. So what happens when you when you're looking for acceptance that doesn't get there, then the same comments that come out year after year after year, man, we never thought they'd do that to us. Look at how dare they? Even the real kicker is when somebody gets lynched. I hear over and over, man, this is 2024 and they're still doing that to us. Duh. Ding, 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 them nuts wins it by a nose. I mean, they've been doing it in 1824, 1724, 1624, 1924. So clearly there's a track record that in 2024 of the European year that you will get lynched as well as 2025, 2026. So the thing is when someone's looking for acceptance, they'll never see the predator coming. They'll never see someone who does not accept them, show them in ways that they don't want to see that person does not accept them. And that's what happens to Black folks, Brother Forecast, over and over and over. It's almost like a religion to us. I walk this planet nowadays like I don't give a rat's you know what. Why? Because I know that anything that I look at that does not have my skin tone, my hair, and my attitude, i.e., if it's not Black, I know that that's an individual that is the same, relegated to the same value as that of a roach, or that of a squirrel, or that of a rat. In other words, it is an animal to me. It is not one of my species. Therefore, I respond and react as if it is a different species. I don't look for validation and say, man, how dare they did that? All the Mexican voted. I'm telling folks, this is what, if you don't expect that, then it's not them who are the problem. It's us who need our head to examine. Anyways, Brother Forecast, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, facts. And I just want to say real quick, drapetomania is, they said, if you run away and don't want to be a slave, then something is wrong with you. It's called drapetomania. Anybody who wants to escape slavery,
yeah,
is drapetomania. But yeah, consider what you think about that and everything he was saying.
I'm just listening. I'm just listening. Go ahead.
No, yeah, no, because I definitely agree with we I don't know what to say, because I'm like, I was hurt this time. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I fell back, and because we're acting like, like Cassidra this was saying before, this young brother, Dominique Stewart, is 16, and the thing is, it's just some small stuff that pissed me off. Like, we'd be like, oh, unalived. Like, Black people are scared to say, please stop killing me. Like, they can kill you, but you can't say, kill me, stop killing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to say different things, but, we be on all of their stuff. But I don't understand why we don't want the school, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know they ain't teaching me nothing about like Black stuff. So what do you think they're teaching them now? Like, but we talking about the Department of Education and saving the FBI? Like, it's a sad day,
We need to warn you, the details are hard to hear. A woman in Orlando was found hanging from a tree. Orlando police have said they believe she committed suicide.
But her family thinks that someone else is responsible for her death. West Houston Tonight, Gabriel Diaz explains why her loved ones and activists are now calling for accountability.
My sister was loving. She was cared for. She was my mother's caretaker.
The family of Yona Lubrin says she was a happy-go-lucky woman with a great sense of humor. They say she would have turned 31 years old this month, but she'll never see another birthday. Her life ended in a way her family describes as a mystery that needs to be solved.
On September 28th, 2023, Thursday, at approximately 7 a.m. in the morning, the partially new...
And you know what pisses me off? Why is a black dude so mild-mannered and going to the news all the time and speaking so lightly and the King's English properly, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I wonder why you never get answers like, yo, we are like some straight bitches, you know, straight up. I don't know. Okay, of course you got this elderly brother who was 65, Percy Mixon, who was found in the woods in Mississippi. And then you know, you got this young brother. So y'all want to say anything about that?
Sure. When you were talking about black males, and I always delineate black males from men because the difference is, and why this brother is unfortunately mild-mannered, is because, and I mentioned this morning, and it pissed a lot of brothers off, I'm pretty sure, hopefully. Black males, unlike every other male on this planet, every other male that's not black wants to lead. Brothers want to be led. And that's the problem. Okay, I got to say it again. We want to be led. That's why brothers are always talking about, well, where's the black leader or this leader or that leader? I'm like, nah, that's insanity. That's insanity beyond insanity. Where the rest of the non-black world, all they want to do is lead, and unfortunately lead us. We're looking for someone to lead us. That's why brothers are walking this planet mild-mannered, not only in their voice, but in our actions. The thing is back in the day, you would not see newscasts like that without a brother saying, I'm a killer MF. Nowadays, it's like it's almost like we want to go ahead and sanction our tongue. Here's what I mean. When you brought up the word where folks are talking about being unalived, and I don't like that. Okay, I'll say I will kill, or somebody got killed. I'll say that in seconds because I really don't care. I run this world with a restaurant voice. Okay, without a restaurant voice. Excuse me. And so the thing is I've heard of many black males talking about, yeah, they unalived and unalive. That's an individual that sanctioned the way they talk because of fear of somebody doing something to their so-called channel. That's a child. That's like, mom might spank me because I didn't do my homework. It's like, look, Negro, if you got that kind of sanction, were you going to sanction the brother forecast? The most valuable thing we have in life as humans is the ability to communicate our words. When we sanction it because of the fear that someone might do something to us, then our words, in other words, we sanctioned our lives. And when I hear folks say that, oh, they unalive this and they unalive that, I'm like, damn, I thought slavery was over, but God dang it, it ramped itself up even worse. The thing is even that brother that's mild-mannered sanctioned what used to be inside, and when something happened to us, our instinct said, we're going to kill one of these, you know what's. Nowadays, that even our instinct of doing that is gone. And that's the most frightening thing right now. I'll pass the mic.
Yo, facts. And consider it, and as a sister, like, yo, how do you even feel about when you see brothers doing stuff like that, yo?
Okay, I'm trying to get off mute. Oh my goodness, I don't even, right now I'm just enjoying you guys. You guys do. I'm enjoying you guys talk. I'm standing in the back, and I want you guys to do what y'all do. I'm back here. I'm glad he came up, so I don't have to say anything. I'm listening to the men talk.
Yeah.
This is good because this is what we need in our community. Go ahead, fellas.
Yeah, facts. And MG2 is dropping knowledge, and all that stuff is it's irritating to me. And that's why I was like, yo, I had to fall back. I'm not finna argue with y'all no more. I'm getting there, MG2. I got a glimpse of what you were saying as far as like, yo, all right, I'm done with y'all. But I still got like I know I don't have hope anymore. That's a dirty word, you know what I'm saying?
Don't say that, forecast. Have a little hope. Keep hope alive. Ain't that what Jesse said?
Yeah, and you can see how he ended up. Yeah.
Whoa! Don't even say that.
I don't know. It's just because and it's because it's not hope anymore. It's like, because when you hope something that's gonna happen, then you aren't gonna do anything to. It's almost like when you run out of hope and you just you forget it, yo. I'm going to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? But
which is nothing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Black men would support their own demise. Black people. I'm not gonna say just Black men, but I'm just saying the Black men that I've heard. And a lot of it has been disappointing, you know what I'm saying? And thinking that either side is anything to you know what I'm saying? And like MG2 says, if you're not looking at it as a tool or a weapon and not some protection, like, oh, well, maybe they won't do this to me. And maybe all we wants to do is love them, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think they really came up with a plan as far as Black men either having a plan as far as, okay, now what? Yes, he's in. Okay, so what does that mean for you? What is your plan for your own freedom? What is your plan? How are you going to hold him accountable? Or what is your request? What are you requesting from him? Which it should have already been, that request should have already been made before you voted for him. But since you didn't, now what? That is the biggest question. What's your plan now? Where's your vision board? What's the next step? Nothing. They're comfortable now. They got their man in. Okay, we're going to sit back and see what he's going to do. Well, when are you going to stand up and make a stand and show him what you guys are working with? Why are you guys waiting for him to show you? Nothing? If you don't do for self, he's not going to do anything for you. It's going to be still up to you to do. All right.
Well said. Sister Cassidra, this is something that I've noticed on every quote unquote election season. I've noticed that these words come out almost every time. What are the Democrats or what are the such and such going to do for us? I hear that all the time. That is that's the language of a child.
What are you going to do for yourself?
Right. I don't look for what someone's going to do for me. I look what I make them do. I demand. I don't ask. I don't beg. And I don't compromise. I demand. And if they don't do it, they got consequence. We have never given anyone consequence. That's why we hear the unfortunate phrases, what are they doing for us? They didn't do. Anytime when somebody, especially when it comes to government or anything like that, because remember, the key word of the word government means to govern. Anytime that's in play, that means that you are going to go ahead and not make an idea or a suggestion. You're going to make a demand for someone who is supposed to be governing to do what you want them to do, or there will be major consequence. And that's unfortunate, especially I hear a lot of brothers say that, man, the Democrats or the Republicans or whatever never did nothing for us. No, because you have not demanded and made them do it. Okay, I walk this earth as one day that I'll be able to see every non-African in the street, their bodies laying down so my feet don't have to touch the ground and I can walk on their backs. I think that. I live that. Every day I'm like, okay, one of these days, I don't care who it is. It could be a cop or it could be Donald Trump and Joe Biden. But I'm going to be able to walk on their back so my shoes never get dirty as I'm walking down the street. That is the mentality of someone who does not compromise. Someone who says, I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm going to demand everything. And if I don't get it, somebody's going to die. I'll pass the mic.
I love it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and Matron, shouts out to Matron in there. She said Trump is a lame duck psychopath with unchecked power. The only thing he'll respect is power. Nothing else is going to matter. All right, yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, I definitely feel what y'all saying. That's all facts. The thing is, right? Because Cassidra, you said, and honestly, and I say it, I guess, like, it is not a joke though. Like, really, the only thing is going to work is the next generation. It is teaching them how to fend and do for themselves and to protect themselves. And when I say protect themselves, their mentality, I can't think of the word right now, but as MG2 would put it, right? Like, what do you create that the world wants to kill, steal, or whatever for? You know what I'm saying? And you teaching your children and giving them that space for that creativity and that protection for that creativity is the only thing them knowing that there is no boundaries, that they can have their own, that they have to have that there's no other choice but for them to have their own, right? To limit the generational traumas that gets passed down from generation to generation. Limit the thinking that we are, you know, there's somebody else that's going to come and save us. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody ever going to come and save us but ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We are all we got. I was saying that and I stopped saying it, but we are all we got, you know? And that's my opinion. You know, I think that the only thing that will help us at this point is going to be the next generation, and teaching them to, even though you might have fear, to have courage. That's what courage is for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that fear doesn't exist or people aren't scared or whatever it is, you know, but that's the purpose of courage. You know what I'm saying? To face your fears, you know. But to be stuck in a perpetual cycle over and over, like, I would rather for it to be the end than to be stuck in some perpetual cycle over and over. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what it comes down to, you know what I'm saying? Now, I understand that some people, like, listen, we understand who Donald Trump is. We understand, but that's the thing. We understand who all of them is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what Project 1992 was. You know what I'm saying? We know what Project 1984 was, which was privatizing prisons. You know what I'm saying? We know what Project 1967 was, when they made the immigration stuff legal so that they can then put all of these other groups into your communities. Like MG2 said it earlier, I would charge all of them. You know, he said especially the Asians, you know what I'm saying? But you make all of them pay, you know what I'm saying? You don't go help the Palestinians. You make them pay for what you make them pay, you know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to understand. That's what I wanted to ask you too, MD2, before you leave, yo. Information. All right, why is information is important? Like a preschooler, like, I don't understand it. Information, like, if information sucked into a black hole is lost forever. Why is that important? What the hell is information, and why is that important?
Because you can use it as currency. And especially amongst ourselves, we used to use information as currency. Now it's just talking words. Now it's just, man, I got the info, and it's nothing. It's really abstract, and it doesn't have any substance. It's just something for ego boosting and a lot of views on social media. Real information is a currency. Other folks use that every day. It's just that our folks fail to know that that exists. And it's unfortunate because other folks are informed. That's the root word of information, being informed, which means you know something that pertains to something that you're going to need, want, and can't do without one day. And unfortunately, we have taken, again, a lot of euphemisms that it makes for good what I call hood speak. In other words, for black folks to thinking, to speak as if there's some kind of intelligence, but unfortunately, it's unfortunately drowned with an ego satisfaction. Not mad at us because I love us. We're black folks. The thing is information in the right hands not only becomes a currency, but also becomes a weapon, and it becomes a tool. That's if it's used practical. Let me tell you, this is something I've been teaching folks for like the last 23 years at least, Brother Forecast. When they talk about education, the word education, and I've always told you guys about the qualifier of the word the. I've been going over that too many times, so folks should know there's a difference between the word the and whenever they talk about education, in European modern context, education is nothing more than indoctrination. That's why it's like, oh, we want to teach we want to get rid of so-called critical race theory and all this other stuff. That's indoctrination. What real education is, and this is where the word information comes up, because I'm glad you asked that. Real education is very simple. It's the practical application of information. That's all education is. Practical application of something you were informed to do, to learn, or whatever. Here's a good case in point. Every species on the planet has education. When a wildebeest comes out of the womb, it has to educate itself in order to not get eaten by a hyena. So what does it do? It has to learn to walk. It's practically applying the skills. I don't care if it just learned it that second or it came epigenetically. It had to learn, hey, I'm going to have to get on these 4 feet, these 4 legs, and get the hell out of here, because there's going to be something that's going to be hungry once they smell my scent. They're practically applying something that's information. That's all it is. And I'm glad you asked that, because unfortunately we talk about the info, but we don't know. Most of our folks don't have the slightest clue what it really is. There's so much that we've done for so many. As I've always said, Black folks, and I done it for too many. I always say that we as an African people have done too much for too many, for too long, for too little. And the thing is, lack of knowing what true information is, we would never have done anything for anyone had we know what information was, and i.e. practically applied it from day one. I'll pass the mic.
And the crazy part is, all the information that we give away, they literally use it on us, against us, to, like, your blood, your unalivement, it brings you, makes them money. It gets them paid. You get paid, and you get charged. You get paid for locking you up. They get paid for killing you. They get paid, or unaliving you. I'm sorry, not to offend y'all, but all of this is information. That's why they have think tanks, because I know that Negroes, how they're going to respond. All we have to do is put a mulatto up there. You know what I'm saying? One who will tell you 5 years later, well, I couldn't do anything because there would be a white lash. But this information that I get from studying you and being invited to all of your cookouts and your dances and all of this stuff, I can practically use it against you to continually get you to come to my schools, and and I'm not going to leave out the brutality that comes with it, you know what I'm saying? Because the brutality plays a role, you know what I'm saying? But the information that you give away, the practical knowledge, is something that they don't even want you to have. Like, even the power of your imagination, they don't even want you to think that that can be harnessed for practical things like making your own underwear, you know what I'm saying? Or water. That all of that comes from, like, how do I solve this thing? And your imagination takes over. And what happens when you believe that you can achieve something? You get inspired to do something, and then you get up and do it. But when you believe that you can't do something, what are you? You're inspired to not do something, to not do anything, or to do things that are counter or that are destructive to yourself. You know what I'm saying? All of this is like the information of yourself, as Malcolm would say. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say Malcolm. Who taught you to hate yourself? You know what I'm saying? That information is valuable, because maybe the stuff that you even saying in your own head is not even true. Somebody else put that in there because you gave them the information or the knowledge or how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, before we get off of here, I shouldn't do this because I feel sorry for y'all. And like I said, man, because my mama said, like, yo, I'm scared. I'm like, why wasn't you scared before? You said, you called me racist before. you said I was racist and I'm crazy and I'm extreme. And now you scared. Like, come on. Like, but
they really scared, huh?
A lot of brothers were saying,
be prepared.
I'm gonna play this for y'all.
And then you have this outcome, and you have people putting children to bed tonight, and they're afraid of breakfast.
Oh man,
they're afraid of, how do I explain this to my children? I have Muslim friends who are texting me tonight saying, should I leave the country? I have families of immigrants that are terrified tonight.
Go back to Venezuela. Yes.
This was many things.
I would tell you that.
This was a rebellion against the elites. True, it was a complete reinvention of politics and polls. It's true, but it was also something else. We've talked about race. I mean, we've talked about everything but race tonight. We've talked about income. We've talked about class. We've talked about region. We haven't talked about race. This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a Black president, in part. And that's the part where the pain comes. And Donald Trump has a responsibility tonight to come out and reassure people that he is going to be the president of all the people who he insulted and offended and brushed aside. Yeah, when you say, you want to take your country back, you got a lot of people who feel that we're not represented well either. But we don't want to feel that someone has been elected by throwing away some of us to appeal more deeply to others. So
it is up to the damn wolf to go to the sheep and be like, sheep, listen,
be people
I gotta
tomorrow,
play this one.
We're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There's gonna be people who are gonna be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers.
Yo, if you go to a dentist who don't got papers,
Oh, wow.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I was like, all right, okay.
Cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified tonight.
Wow.
And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're gonna get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's gonna pay the price.
He didn't think about that before he said it, did he?
Woke up this morning with a dream. And
whoever wrote it ain't think about that all the way
went to
through.
bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
All right, so MD2, you say it all the time, my brother, that we're gonna have, and they probably mad at me. I'm sorry, y'all. Bakari, you know, and anyone else. I'm really sorry, but MD2, you say it all the time. We need to find a really good KW Don 7. Shouts out, my brother. But I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna focus. You say it all the time, my brother. We need to find a really good place to hide, and it doesn't look like Ben Jones has done that. But what you think about that, my brother?
I was wondering if that was her, if that was Miss Jones talking, because it sounded, I can't see very well, but it sounded like her voice. You know, I hate to be mean, but you know I'm being facetious, but I got to be mean. That is exactly what I mean by a lot of brothers. They want to be led. They don't want to lead. This is one of the most opportune. I am so happy with this crotch-grabbing son of a bitch, racist Klan, you know, alt-right, whatever you want to call this con man that's in office. I mean, he's going to be so easy to beat up. I mean, he's like the kind of white boy that I'm like, finally, I get my chance. Because he's opening up we just got delivered a lottery ticket with Donald Trump. And I told you I think I told you a long time ago, my encounter with him when he was promoting one of our gigs. He represents everything that is, like I said, a lotto ticket for black folks. Most black folks don't see it that way because most black folks want him to lead and want him to solve their problems. He could solve your problems only if you make sure that he goes ahead and creates more for himself. That's where the problems. Most black folks, brother, forecast, and I brought it up a long time ago. I keep bringing it up. If you look at what Donald Trump did to all the institutions of things that have hurt African people worldwide, you know, like NATO, like USAID, like UN Fund, like World Bank, like IMF, like FBI, CIA, NSA, you name it. All the institutions that have hurt us for his own self, not for us, but for his own self, he set out to destroy it. Why am I going to get in his way a second time? If he wants to destroy all those institutions that hurt black folks, the last thing I'm going to do is get in his way. I'll be like, look, crotch grabber, President Crotch Grab, the artist formerly known as Trump, there's another American institution you could destroy. You know, like Kenyan troops going into Haiti to go ahead and try to kill Africans. Hey, Donald Trump, why don't you go ahead? Remember, Joe Biden put that up, Donald Trump. Why don't you go dismantle that? You know, go ahead. You know, like the brokebacks that are getting loans, so-called minority loans in like New Jersey and whatnot. All these little white boys that got loans because they don't know the difference between a man and a woman. Hey, Donald Trump, you know, you got to do something. You know, that was Joe Biden. That's the institution of so-called liberalism. Can you fix that, Donald Trump? And you best believe I'm going to use him as that tool to do it. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, all facts, all facts. Consider yeah, what you think about everything that you know, that we were saying tonight?
I agree totally. I told you I'm letting you guys take it on. I'm enjoying this.
No, I'm saying yeah, because you know, we about to wrap it up, you know, because I know it's about to be 2 hours. I don't want to be on too late, but I will say this, right? And even to what Matron has said, the only thing that he'll respect is power. I agree with that. It's just that I would say the only thing that any of them will respect is power. You know what I'm saying? Is any of them will respect is, you know what, it'll be more dangerous. And it's not dangerous for me to say, oh, you need to rise up and do this and do this. But if I teach you how to get clean water, or if I teach you how to grow your own food, that would make me more of a target than telling you to go do something to somebody. And people don't even realize that, you know. And when it comes to the police, like, we talk about it all the time. Like, we can't just sit here and then be like, because I was wondering if she would have won, I wanted to see what y'all would say, like when the next time somebody gets shot and nothing happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, you better not complain then, you know what I'm saying? And I guess they're gonna be like, well, we better not complain. Well, that's the point, you know what I'm saying? Like, shouldn't we be tired of complaining in the first place? Why would we be fighting for the FBI to be saved and for democracy in America to be saved? I thought that's what we were saying the whole time. I wasn't just saying that. Like, I wasn't just playing or nothing like that. Like, when I be like, I'm not trying to like save America, like, I'm sick of it. Like, I don't know why y'all are cool with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe because I don't have anything to lose, you know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't. I don't think any of us have anything to lose, in my opinion, you know. But listen, the only thing that Democrats, Republicans, Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, Obama, George Bush, Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan, I don't even know. Only thing that they respect, or the police or anything, or bully, is if you smack them back in the face. Like, if you continue to be like, all right, well, if we'll try to save you and be a part of this forever, then that's no thing to be respected. You know what I'm saying? And we are, like, it's weak, yo. Like, we have been looking weak, and we continue to be weak. And there's no, like, that's why we at the bottom. I don't get it that y'all don't understand why we keep being at the bottom. But anyway, but y'all got anything else to say before we close out?
You know what? I think everybody is looking for this savior, right? I don't think he's going to do anything different than he did the last 4 years. I think it's still up to us to do for us. And someone said, hey, he's going to put you back in chains. And my thing, you know, to them is, well, he didn't put you in chains, the last 4 years the 4 years before. What is he going to do different this time? How's he, what's the difference? You weren't afraid before. Why are we so afraid now? It's not like we've never seen him in action before. You know what I'm saying? And I think about your mom, how she says she was afraid. And I've talked to so many people, and I'm like, why were you afraid? I don't even think they know why they're afraid. Are they afraid because what the media told them to be afraid? They're afraid of what? The media told them to be scared of 2025. I'm like, what's the big deal? It's not like you've never gone through anything before. We were made for this. Everything we've gone through, we got through it. So what's so frightening about this time? So I just, think about, just people just not thinking for themselves and still looking for a white man, a supremacist to help you to be free. That's the farthest thing from his mind. You guys are thinking that, oh my God, we backed him. Well, a lot of you guys backed Biden and he did nothing for you. So yes, you backed him. So what's he going to do different? And if he doesn't do anything, okay, then if you're busy doing for yourself, you're not really looking for him to do anything because you're doing it for yourself. So this is our opportunity to start building and to start putting our monies together to buy land, to build schools, and to do other things that we need to be done. Instead of always looking for somebody else who's never done for Black people. I mean, he's done something for some. I'm just saying, as far as getting them out of prison, okay, I understand. But the major things, as far as police brutality, he's never stopped that. But it's up to us if we want to hold people accountable. And that's what we need to do, put our mind on holding people accountable for what they do to us. My way.
Facts. And I know we don't want to accept the fact that we are in a slave-like position. How about that? But if we aren't in this slave-like position, then why are you fighting? What are you fighting for then? You know what I'm saying? But we just want to be comfortable. That's what this showed me. Freedom, equality, or comfort. Forget freedom. Equality is asking too much. We just want to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's sickening to me. So, but yeah, you good, MG2?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. I'm so glad you brought this up, and I've been telling folks for the longest time. When you brought up, it's what they respect, because the only thing I want them to respect is my threat. I love to be a threat, because a bully will definitely respect the threat. What I mean by that is a bully's self-preservation will definitely, in other words, you'll be able to turn his cards over in a heartbeat. You'll see his whole card. Because when that bully is up against a real threat, that bully knows that it cannot bully. And therefore, one of the ways that I've done that, a lot of folks know I'm deeply involved in trading. I've been like that since 1986, trading markets and stuff like that. And one of the major reasons is like you were talking about water, clean water. That is one of the biggest threats. Clean water is an extreme threat. Good medical care that we take care of on our own is good threat. Breakfast clubs and things like that. Not the idiots over there in New York that are DJs. I'm talking about being able to feed children is a threat. Being able to go ahead and take and protect elderly is a threat. Being able to have a family nowadays as someone black is a threat. Being able to go ahead and not have to pray to a white Jesus and have something of your own on your mantle, on your wall, or in your so-called church is a threat. Going ahead and learning about your own, not history, but the record of African people, i.e. all the good, bad, and other, the heroes and the villains, learning about our own quote unquote history. I call it the record. That is a threat. Knowing full well that black women and black men getting together and saying I do is a threat. Having a child that knows, a son that knows he's a man one day and a daughter that knows she'll be a woman one day and not vice versa is a threat. The thing is, Brother Forecast, getting us back to a state of when we were African once again is a threat. And one of the things you talked about, clean water, is very important because that is a threat. That's, in other words, others will stop you from doing it because they know they will not have the advantage. As I've always said, it's like the so-called reparations nonsense that folks are always asking for. Here's what I mean. Anyone that is taking something from you will never give it back. In other words, they're on one side of the seesaw and you're on the other side of the seesaw. And in order for you to be repaired, i.e., that means that they're going to go ahead and their side of the seesaw is going to be out of balance. Because now, in order for them to be in balance, you must be unbalanced. That is a threat. The thing is, Brother Forecast, I got into trading and economics for a reason. It was not so I can say, oh yeah, I'm going to get black folks to buy a house and a car and we're going to all be sitting next to Michael Jordan. No. What it is, and I've seen it happen time and time again, especially in their so-called economy. Anytime somebody has the advantage, remember, the only thing that runs European society and their power is the fact they own the economies and the fact that they've got muscle. And that's the only thing. Bullying, i.e. war and money. The thing is anytime somebody has at least one of those, that's considered a threat. Shall we say one word? China. They own the treasuries. Their economy is eclipsing. And what are they? A threat. One of the things when I got into trading and doing what I'm doing is to create what I call the Holy Grail, which I've done. The thing is having that. There were these young brothers who did almost something similar back in I think it was like the mid 90s. I'll never forget this. In the mid 90s, these brothers, and they were down there in the Southeast. I think it might've been North Carolina or South Carolina, something like that. And they were getting into doing what we call carry trades. And they were showing only black folks how to do this. They were doing, they were like, hey, you're going to go ahead and be all right. What happened is black folks in their churches were making so much loot. They were stacking up stacks after stacks. Many brothers were not re-upping for the military, United States military. Many folks that were on Section 8 were no longer on Section 8. They had manicured lawns and boats, and there was no lake anywhere near. In other words, somebody in that federal situation that United States owns says, why are these black folks doing so well? This is a threat. Somebody knows something, and it must be drug dealing. No, what it was is brothers said, we're going to go ahead and learn what you guys do, and we're going to take it to another level. That was a threat. The thing is, Brother Forecasters, we're too afraid. Sister Cassidra, we're too afraid to be that threat. We want to be led and not want to lead. We want to make and placate and not want to go ahead and make sure that we vacate. And I'm talking vacate the souls out of our enemies. We're too busy trying to go ahead and fit in instead of fitting our fist down somebody's throat. The thing is that's not a way to survive, because there's some other folks that didn't go as far as we do in terms of non-self-preservation. But nowadays they name jeeps, missiles, football teams, and helicopters after them because they don't exist anymore. You guys call them Native Americans. The thing is, Brother Forecast, when you said that what they respect, see, I used to, when I was younger, I looked for respect, and I know what it is. It's, of course, it's power. But more importantly, what is respected is a threat. If you see a wild dog or you see a squirrel or something's coming after you, that's a threat. You will respect its territory. That's just common sense. I used to look for that, but nowadays, I'm not looking for respect anymore. I'm not looking for anything, for my enemy to respect anything. All I want to know, or all I want to do, is just let them know when I'm around, their days of breathing no longer exist. Hotep, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, all facts, and I agree with that, and listen, I'm sorry to y'all, and I'm saying this for me, I can't speak for because this is for me, because I still have. I'm sorry that y'all feel this way, you know what I'm saying, but just maybe, it could be, what I'm saying, all right, like, if you put a little more focus on, like, imagine if we had spent the last few months, strategizing, like, yo, us not even doing it, like, how could we make this think tank together, like, what can we do or like, let's put this group where we put this idea towards something, as opposed to have been arguing about Republican or Democrat. Now that it's over, I don't know what y'all are going to talk about after this, not even to make it like that. I'm just saying, right? Like, I'm sorry that you guys feel like that, but I'm just saying, it'll be all right. I don't know. It's for the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of us, being afraid and all of this stuff. I'm just saying, that's all I wanted to say. And y'all hope that y'all not mad, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's okay. You should be mad. That's what I've been trying to say. I don't know why you haven't been mad this whole time. And like, this may be the thing that you need to be mad. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you shouldn't be comfortable. Like, every nation destroys itself. This is a European nation, so they destroy itself quicker. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that continues to save them is the Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the African American. We have become African Americans, and it's like sad to me, because we are Africans who have been completely Americanized, you know what I'm saying? And no matter what it is, like, their system runs off of our blood, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the way that it goes. It runs. That's why no matter what it is, name any statistic, Black people at the bottom of it, or if it's a bad thing, we're at the top of it, because it's not, like, I don't know. So shouts out to KW, Don 7, Matron, and my brother Anthony, Guy, and Bakari, and I'm sorry, my brother Bakari, I get it, and my brother Kofi, they might be hiding under the bed right now. I'm about to go back to hiding under the bed.
Bakari was kind of quiet tonight, huh?
Bakari was going out on his live earlier. He had a good live earlier. Shouts out to my brother Bakari. We're not gonna kick him, man. We're not gonna kick him while he's down. We're gonna be here for him after this. But I did tell y'all before about them lashes that y'all gonna have to receive to come back. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm just saying,
She can go back to low down Willie Brown.
It's not funny. A lot of us are scared tonight because it's not funny. It's not funny.
Willie Brown waiting on her.
They're all psychopaths, yo. I was saying
Willie Brown.
But I was saying for 2 years, they're all psychopaths. You cannot negotiate with psychopaths. You know what I'm saying? You just have to do what you got to do.
She thought she was gonna slide on in there, didn't she?
They heard Cassidra. It's too soon. They're gonna be mad, Cassidra, right? They're gonna be mad at me, Cassidra.
She probably out. She didn't even talk to her people after she lost. She went to bed.
Man, so I'm worried if these Indians gonna send an attack over here.
I know. Anyway. They wouldn't even vote for her. That's a shame. Her own people wouldn't even vote for her.
Yo, what you think about that?
That's crazy. Your own people and Black folk didn't see nothing wrong with that. She's Indian, and they wouldn't even vote for her. That's very sad. That her own wouldn't vote for it, but black folk did. That's just retarded to me. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Yeah, MG2, because we gotta get off here, but I had to ask you because you was right about this. You know what I'm saying? You were saying Trump was gonna win, but what about India? Because I did believe that one. I did like that sounded good. That sounded like a good one. I didn't know. I just wanted to see what was gonna happen. But what about East India or India or whatever? What about them? Ain't they gonna be mad?
I've been going in on those bastards for what now? You guys been listening to me just going in on those bastards for 10 years. I've been to India. Indians, East Indians, if we go back to the days of Gandhi or even before then, they have a passion to destroy black folks. African people are on their hit list. And so it's been that way. I know many East Indians. There's many where I'm living. Every live stream I go in on those bastards. It's unfortunate that black folk, as Cassidra said, they won't. I mean, East India is not. It's not because of a caste system that they do what they do. They have literally a penchant to want to destroy anything black. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not mad at that. I'm like, okay, that's who you are. All right, cool. I mean, I expect the skunk to stink, as I expect them in the most filthiest place I've ever been in the world, which is India. I expect that to stink as well. The thing is India, for lack of a better term, ain't nothing more. They're more melanated Caucasians than Byron Donalds and the rest of the coons. The thing is they, as long as black folks recognize that they built their empire on, unfortunately, us buying their products, whether it's weaves, rims, or whatever else. The thing is to recognize right now, hopefully, that they know, as Dr. John Henrik Clarke says, we have no friends. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, facts. As he would say, we have no friends. Like, damn. I don't know why we don't understand. But you know what? We're gonna let this brother have the last words, y'all. So let me see.
We suggest that Negroes vote for in the coming election.
I wouldn't suggest that they vote for any party or either party. I would suggest that the so-called Negroes become politically mature, realize the power that they hold in the field of politics, and then once the person who is running is aware that this man is awakened to the power that he holds, then that person who is running will approach that Negro on a more intelligent plane. As it is right now, most of the Negro leaders sell out to the white politicians for crumbs. And an awakening, a political awakening among Negroes will make it impossible for the present Negro leaders to sell our people out as they've been doing in the past.
So you do think Negroes should vote?
Negroes should do whatever is necessary to bring about a complete solution to their problem. When I say whatever is necessary, they should have the flexibility to do whatever is necessary to solve the problem.
Why does it look like it might be the year of the ballot or the bullet? Because Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long, and they're fed up. They've become disenchanted. They've become disillusioned. They've become dissatisfied. And all of this has built up frustrations in the black community that makes the black community throughout America today more explosive than all of the atomic bombs the Russians can ever invent. Whenever you got a racial powder keg sitting in your lap, you're in more trouble than if you had an atomic powder keg sitting in your lap. When a racial powder keg goes off, it doesn't care who it knocks out the way. Understand this, it's dangerous. And in 1964, this seems to be the year. Because what can the white man use now to fool us? After he put down that march on Washington, and you see all through that now, he tricked you, had you marching down to Washington. Yes, had you marching back and forth between the feet of a dead man named Lincoln and another dead man named George Washington, singing "We Shall Overcome." He made a chump out of you. He made a fool out of you. He made you think you were going somewhere, and you end up going nowhere but between Lincoln and Washington.
Ain't that something? But like I said, I'm sorry. But and as my good brother MD2 often says, I'm about to go find. You was right, my brother. That's why I found me a good spot to hide. Consider I'm gonna put you on to my spot, my hiding spot. Bakari probably already in his spot. I already know. Kofi, I ain't seen from Kofi. It's gonna be a minute.
Probably drunk now. You went back to drinking.
No, I love my brother Bakari. I love my black people. I love all of y'all. I love my
Bakari,
mama.
we got you. Drink one for me.
I got a good spot. MD2, you got a good spot. I know MD2 got him. Like he said, he got a bunker. I believe that. I'm about to try to find MD2 spot. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, as always, we have got to start. We have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace.